Welcome back to another episode of Baxter's Buzz. I am your host, Baxter E. Hall. Thank you for checking me out. As I've mentioned, just inviting folks to my frequency, sort of wherever I'm at the time, whatever I'm thinking about. I'm trying to share, not doing much rehearsal or editing, just kind of sharing my thoughts and hoping that you guys can dig it. Um, this week, obviously, the elephant in the room is the election. So I wanted to spend time talking about things that have been going on aside from that and just kind of some random thoughts that I wanted to share. So, first of all, the daylight savings time, man, can we just get rid of it? It's definitely really tough to adjust, not even for myself, but for the kids, right? When you have young people, um, it their bodies that doesn't necessarily respond as quickly as ours does, and quite frankly they're throwing my sleep off because they're getting up too darn early because they're used to my kids are early risers to begin with, so now they're even earlier risers, and I'm sure that that's affected my energy level and probably my mood a little bit this week. um I wanted to say that uh, just an update for my son who's been in daycare. One of my first posts, I talked about, getting him back prepared for kindergarten next fall, and he's doing such a good job. We see our kids at home, kind of running around, acting like they have never had any home training, and you kind of go, how are they going to behave when they get to school or anywhere aside, where I'm not there, right? And if you teach them the right way, most of the time they surprise you, right? They surprise you. There are all the times that you've told them to say thank you, all the times that you've told them to say please, all the times that you've told them to say excuse me, that they actually use it. They don't always use it in front of you though. So parents, um, uh, uncles, aunts, whatever role you're in young people's life, continue to teach them manners. They may not show it all the time, but they'll show it. They'll show it. Um, I talked to Bryce's teacher recently and said, "How's he doing?" And she said, "Oh, he's perfect." And I said, "Okay, now tell me how he's really doing." Um, I know Bryce. You don't have to lie to me. She said, "No, he's a great kid. He listens. And compared to many of the other kids, trust me, he's perfect, right?" So um, I was not expecting. I was pleasantly surprised, but I also think that we want these sort of like perfect acting children. But if they did everything we said um, immediately and right away, we'd be calling the doctor trying to figure out if something wrong with them that way, right? So they have their own personalities. They sort of resist um, authority. Some people, some children are a little bit more headstrong than others. I happen to have two pretty headstrong children. Even if it's not a direct no, it's like a, well, I'm not happy about it, so I'm gonna walk really slow to go do what mommy or daddy told me, or something along those lines, right? Just keep working with them. Understand that they are little people and they're trying to figure out and flex any authority, and they've really been told what to do their entire lives, right? So sometimes, and I'm talking to myself as well when I say this, we just need to give them more responsibility as opposed to less responsibility, like less restriction, more responsibility, and allow them to sort of blossom, right? It's kind of like moving that plant into a bigger pot and allowing that plant to grow more to their capabilities and not sort of being so restrictive, right? So give the kids some grace and give yourself some grace. The other thing that I want to talk about is me um, having to cut Bryce's hair. It's a couple lessons that I always sort of have when I cut his hair. So as you can see, I don't have hair, but I did, but I never sort of cut my own. When Bryce was really young, he has a head full of hair, but very, very antsy, really wanting to be bothered in general and not wanting to have to sit still, right? So, I've taken him to barbers, I've taken him to, friends of mine, well, a friend of mine who cuts and try to make his, the conditions as comfortable for him as possible. With the pandemic, we haven't seen many people, and so his hair has just been growing, growing and growing and growing. Just because it's a pandemic doesn't mean his hair is gonna stop growing, right? So it's out of control. So I finally decided that I needed to, just bite the bullet and just kind of deal with it, right? And I was pleasantly surprised with how well he did. Um, I think it's a lesson that, first of all, he's not 2.5 or three anymore, right? He's 4.5. And considering we've been in this pandemic since March, I think the last time he had gotten his haircut was probably at the very beginning of March or maybe like late February. It's been over a half a year. He's not the same kid. He behaved so well. He would, yeah, he was a little antsy, but nothing crazy. And I was so pleased with his behavior. We don't allow people to grow. We don't allow our children to grow. We have these expectations of them, but we do that to our friends too. We see someone that we haven't seen in a while, and we think that they're the same person that they were, or we try to put them in a box because it's more comfortable for us, but we're not allowing them to grow and be the people that they are. I think we need to, we wouldn't want people to box us in and to not allow us, um, you know, opportunities or, you know, uh, opportunities to show our growth and our evolution, right? You meet me, if you haven't seen me since last year or 2 years or 3 years ago, I'm definitely not the same person. I'm hoping to be a better person, right? Some of the stuff you may recognize and be familiar to you. Some things you may be like, damn, I didn't know that Baxter was doing that or that he thought like that, right? That's just life. So allow people in your life grace and opportunity to grow. Don't pigeonhole them. And don't allow others to pigeonhole you either. It's super important that we continue to strive to be better than we were the day before. And so on that note, I will say thanks again for checking me out. If you have comments, please, I want to see them. And wherever you're watching this, if it's an audio, you know, please just subscribe, share, and again, thanks for checking me out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.